Welcome to the CCOM Pawcast. My name is Ross Hollabin, and I have the pleasure of introducing my guest, Sarah Hohman, the Digital Communications Coordinator for Major League Baseball's Colorado Rockies. She graduated from Butler in 2025 with dual majors in sports media and journalism, and was heavily involved in leadership for the Collegian student newspaper while on campus, but is now living the MLB dream. Sarah, how are you and how are things in Denver?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks for having me on. Things in Denver are really great right now. We're on the All-Star break, so we're about halfway through the season, and I really love it here so far. It's nice to finally feel a little adjusted after moving a little bit before the season and then going to spring training for 2 months and then coming back. So it feels really good to be in a groove, and the team is really fun to be around. So it's been great so far.
Yeah, what a thrilling thing, and it's so fun to see what you're posting on Instagram, the things that you're getting to experience out there, uh, taking such a big step. But you mentioned the All-Star game, and there weren't a ton of fireworks in the All-Star game, especially for our National League. Me as a Giants fan, and you working with the Rockies, we did not have much offense going last night. Um, but what was it like to see catcher Hunter Goodwin representing the Rockies in Philadelphia uh, earlier this week for you?
Yeah, it was really awesome. So I ended up staying here to cover the draft remotely, which was Saturday and Sunday before the All-Star break, which is kind of crazy that we like to do everything all at once. But draft while we were also playing in San Francisco, and then the All-Star Home Run Derby on Monday, and then the game last night. So I was basically covering everything remotely throughout the weekend of festivities. But it was really awesome to see one of our guys out there. We had our team photographer out there sending us things back to post on all of our accounts and socials. And Hunter's just a really good guy, so he's a great representation of this team, and it was really exciting. It would be really awesome if we could have seen him in the home run derby, but it's okay, and he got his time during the game. He had one at bat. It was pretty quick, but we still got to see him out there and we got to get some content out. And it was a really fun show, especially the Derby. That was really fun to watch the other night. I don't know if you caught it, but I feel like the MLB always does the All-Star games pretty well.
Yeah, it's a fun event, and I think I got to go to it. I mean, it was 30 years ago at least
Mhm.
at Camden Yards when it was there. So the fanfare surrounding it and everything, just such good energy. And even though the guys are working, they're having a little bit more fun out on the field and joking around a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, and I was just talking to someone about how the MLB, I feel like compared to other All-Star games, I mean, you just can't play half baseball. Like you have to go all in. Like pitchers can't just stop pitching 90 miles per hour. They just have to do it. So I think that's what makes it so special compared to the NBA or NFL, where they can obviously play a little lighter and not
Yeah,
have as much contact or defense. But the MLB, they're playing 100%. So it's really fun to watch.
absolutely. Well, and as you've got to watch a lot of baseball this year. So you've now worked
Mhm.
98 regular season baseball games. And based on that, I've got three questions. What's your typical day, especially for a home game? Like if you're not doing something remotely, what's happening during a day game for you?
Yeah, I would say day. Normally I still try to get up at a decent time, even though like obviously a lot of times we go night game to night game. So you might be getting home at 11 p.m. the night before, but I try to wake up and do something for myself in the morning because running all of these social accounts, there's only two of us running all of them. So it's a lot, and I try not to be on my phone in the morning and give myself a little bit of time, but I normally go in around 11 a.m. ish. It also depends what we have that day. If I have a meeting earlier, I'll go in earlier. But I'll go into the office for a bit, catch up on normally some admin work until the players arrive. And once the players arrive and Clubhouse opens, we normally go down with the media just to see what's going on, listen to our manager talk to the media, and then also stay down for BP, and that's normally when I'll do a question of the day. So that's when I get to do something fun with the players. I normally surprise them with it down in the dugout, like just catch them off guard. It makes for better content. One of my favorite ones we hopped on that trend. That was like, besides the obvious, what would you change about yourself? And all the guys just get stumped and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, what should I change about myself? And it's really funny. So it's really fun to, especially because I've built up a lot of camaraderie with them throughout 2 months of spring training down in Arizona. And then every single day up here, like they know me, I travel with them. So they know me very well now. So it's fun to joke around with them and get them to do fun things for the fans. And then after that, normally after BP, go upstairs, eat a little dinner, and then it's time to roll. I go down for pregame on the field, get any player content, any fun handshakes, them running out onto the field, any celebrity first pitches that we might have. Normally there's a lot going on pregame. Whether it's also Dinger the mascot's fun outfit of the night, just covering basically everything down on the field pregame. And then I go to the press box for the game, and that's where I'll be tweeting, posting on Instagram, posting on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, everything with me and my boss. We normally double up on most games. Sometimes it's just one of us, but if someone needs a day off. But for the most part, we're both cooking all game long, especially because this team has been really fun to watch. And if there's something crazy happening at the end of the game, like a walk-off, um, we'll someone will run down and grab content after the game, but we also have our team photographer and videographer. So if we need to stay up and keep posting, we'll do that. And then just wrapping up the night. If we win, we obviously have some more stuff to post after the game. If we lose, I get to go home earlier. So yeah,
Is,
but
is
that's
it
pretty much it. Yeah.
is it is it kind of crazy for you to see how active and how fast everything is, or are you do you feel like you were accustomed to that already?
Yeah, so honestly, no, because I came from the Pacers and the Fever before this, and also
Gotcha.
the Noblesville Boom. I interned with the Pacers and Fever at my time at Butler my whole senior year, and then I stayed on with them on their social team for the majority for the summer, and then part of the fall, and then part of the winter before I got this offer. So I experienced the finals run with the Pacers. I experienced a whole Fever season on their social team, so that was a lot more fast paced, honestly. Obviously, just a lot going on, but baseball's a different beast in itself. It's a slower pace during the game, so I feel like it's easier for me to crank out content that I need to, but I'm also doing it with less people, so that adds a different level of stress, like just because our social team's a lot smaller than the Pacers,
Right.
but at the same time, the game's a lot slower, but it's also every day, so
Yeah, and
it's a different
you know,
beast. Yeah.
you've almost got 100 games, but you have to go there 162 to play.
Yep, it's very crazy to think about that number, especially with that we don't count the spring training games that I was at every single one of
Yeah,
those
and
too.
that's
So
2 months, right?
yeah, so I mean, I love baseball, so I love it, but it is a lot, and I definitely burnout is a thing, and that's why I try to also take care of myself, which I feel like everyone in sports can relate to.
Yeah, very much so. Um, you've got a lot of moments. What are a couple of your favorites?
Yeah, I would say this is a hard question because I have a lot of favorites. I feel like one that really stands out to me was our first walk-off win. So it was my first walk-off when I got to work. And it was at home, and it was Sterling Thompson, one of our rookies, hit the walk-off, and I got to run down. So I ran down, it was like, I think the ninth inning, the bottom of the ninth. When I ran down, and I made it just in time to like watch from the base of the dugout and then run out onto the field and grab video content of that. So that was just like a big adrenaline rush. And I did, as soon as I stopped that video, I had to like sprint back upstairs to the press box, like literally sprint, to start posting. So it's a big adrenaline rush, but it was really fun. That was definitely not probably one of my favorites. And then my first road trip, I feel like that just has to be up there. We went to New York and Cincinnati, and I got to take two of our guys to MLB Network, and we brought like our home run coat that they always wear after a home run.
Very cool.
Got to meet the MLB Network guys, got some content there. So, I mean, the road trips are definitely my favorite because I get to explore new cities, and new ballparks. I'm making a list, and I feel like just spending that much time with the team, like you just keep to build up those relationships that help you get the content that you need. And then just in general, I'd say spring training, because I mean, it was so new to me and it was awesome. And being in Scottsdale, it was beautiful. It was also very hard because it's an everyday thing and I just moved cross country. But I loved the flow of spring training, I guess you would say. You get in really early, all the day games, and then you finish up around 4 p.m. every day, get to go relax a little bit, and then you're back there the next morning. But yeah, it was great to meet all the guys down there. So those are probably my top three. There's definitely more though.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it can go on and on, but what a great trio to start with there.
hmm
And looking from the other side, and maybe the move and acclimating is part of this, but what has been the toughest moment or the biggest
hmm
professional lesson that you've learned so far?
Yeah, I would definitely say I think it was definitely the move to spring training, and just not coming back. Originally, I was supposed to come back for a week to Denver, halfway through spring training, but sports, you have to learn to go with the flow. And one of our video guys left, so then we just had less bodies down there, and I wasn't going on the first road trip because I literally just started. So then they just wanted me to stay down there. So yeah, I was away from Denver for about 2 months after moving here for 2 weeks. And that was just a moment where it's obviously like you just got to do what you got to do to make your dreams happen. And I was, I mean, I got to be in Arizona, so like again, like it was very nice and beautiful, but it was like a strange place to me. And just also learning that people online are sometimes mean, and our comment section was not super nice, especially because of our last season. But luckily, this group of guys have completely turned that around, and our record doesn't really do this team justice. They're very fun to watch. They're fun. Our offense always comes back from behind in late innings. They're like people enjoy watching them, so that's improved a lot. But when I first started posting some things, I was taking it a little personal, but learned quickly don't need to do that. So
Yeah, yeah, let that brush off.
yes.
But it's so cool that you get to do that storytelling and that you have the
hmm
NBA experience with it. You have the coverage that you did of Butler going to the Big East tournament in New
hmm
York and covering that for the Collegian and things like that. So, um, more on that. I guess building off of that, how did your classes and experiences, and you've talked about the internships already,
hmm
but as you're at Butler and soaking those in, but doing a lot of the things on your own, how did that prepare you for this position and the interview process? Knowing like, hey, there aren't all that many jobs, especially in the pros, and you've got one already, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I would say number one would probably be professionalism. I feel like, especially my time with the Collegian, like that's just a life skill that you learn early on when working for a newspaper. You're constantly interviewing people, so you're working on your communication skills with other people and building those relationships to use them professionally. So I would definitely say that's something I really learned throughout the Collegian. Also, just getting out of my shell originally freshman year, that was a big jump because you just have to start talking to athletes and people, and that might seem scary at first, but now it's like nothing to me. So like they're just humans. So I feel like that's like a huge thing you just have to learn, and that the Collegian and even classes that we had to do interviews in. I feel like my journalism major really helped with that. Like obviously I loved my sports media stuff, and that essentially probably relates back a little bit more to what I'm doing now. But I would say the journalism really gave me a lot of my foundation. Um, and like I feel like that was something I referenced a lot in my interview process. Can't remember specific situations, but um, I definitely feel like the journalism and sports media route was great for me, and really helped with my confidence. And again, building all those relationships around the community eventually led to my internship at Wish TV, and then my internship at the Pacers and ESPN Cleveland, and just obviously building connections and establishing relationships.
Yeah. And now it just takes that next step. So that is fantastic. Um, and knowing that next step was to the Rockies, and I'm not trying to have you move on from there by any stretch, But do you have other plans cooking already, or have you just completely bought into John Denver's Rocky Mountain High for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, so I'm here for the foreseeable future. I love it. Obviously, I also just moved in January. So it still feels new a lot of the time, and I'm still learning new things. Like it was my first All-Star game and my first draft. Before that, it was my first opening day. So I feel like I'm just really happy to be here. I keep calling my rookie season. Um, and I'm just so happy to be here. I mean, someone asked me in the dugout one day, someone at the clubhouse just asked like, "What's the dream? Like, what is your dream?" And I was like, "Well, this was my dream, so now I'm here, and I'm just really happy to be here." Obviously, I don't know what the future holds, but um, I'm very happy with how my life has turned out so far here. So hope to keep it up.
No, we'd love to hear that. And you've
Hmm.
worked so hard for it. And while being such a positive member of the community with Butler and just a good person to be around, like you know, we got to go to that luncheon together where you got to hold up the gold medal from the swimmer and you did the guest blog post and uh, having you around and with that collegian team that you were with was always a
Hmm.
cool thing that makes me enjoy every day is students like you contributing the way you do.
Yeah, I loved my time at Butler. It's crazy because it's already been over a year now that I graduated, but I should be coming back for homecoming. So I'm gonna
Awesome.
take a couple games off, which I never let myself do. So I'm very excited. Want to see old colleagues, old professors, and friends, just because I loved my time at Butler. So.
Fantastic. We can't wait to see you.
Hmm.
Someone else you get to see on a regular basis. I love mascots. How special is it working with Dinger, the Rockies' purple triceratops, um, who, doing my research, was hatched in 1994?
Yeah, so they actually found dinosaur bones under the stadium when they were building it, and that's why we have Dinger, and he was hatched. I love Dinger though. I think he's like just a really funny mascot. Um, and it's also just fun to be able to work with the people behind the scenes on different content for him. I've been trying to accumulate more content of Dinger on our main accounts and then also working towards eventually hopefully getting him his own account because that's obviously um we're a little behind on that, but also it's just with staffing and whatever.
Yeah.
But very excited about the future plans with him. Technically he doesn't have a gender, but we mostly refer to Dinger as him. But Dinger is awesome. He has a lot of jokes. He wears some fun outfits, and it's very fun to play around. We do a lot of different paid ads. This is another part of my job that a lot of people probably don't think about, but we work with a lot of sponsors. We also work on promoting our ticketing and promoting different promotions that we have at the ballpark. So it's nice to be able to use Dinger for videos like that. He's just very easy to work with, and obviously the people and the fans love him, so especially kids.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I love that you brought up that activation component because no one just
Mhm.
does content. Like it is tied into a
Mhm.
sales package somewhere and hey, we need to fulfill this for this sponsor or this community relations event brought on by so and so. We need a player or we need Dinger or someone else
Mhm.
here to help tell your story and make it more impactful.
Yeah, I'd actually say another one of my top favorite moments, not to go back to that, we
Yeah.
did we ended up going we went to the airport one day and I did not fly anywhere, but we went to the airport and we filmed two of our guys, TJ Rumfield and Troy Johnston. Troy's our right fielder and TJ's our first baseman, rookie of the year candidate. But
So get your
we took
votes
them to the
in.
airport. Yeah, yeah, I wish I had a vote, but we don't have a vote for that, unfortunately. Um, but we took them to the airport. Dinger met us there, and then we worked with the Southwest people, one of our main sponsors, and they waved in the planes. They went on the speaker. They greeted people off the plane. They scanned tickets, all for content for Southwest. And it was just really funny. Troy is like one of the best personalities that I've ever seen on a team. He's so funny. He does stuff for us all the time. We're very lucky to have him. One example with him is um just casually one day he asked me, he's like, Sarah, people should have cakes on their birthdays, right? And I'm really good friends with our team dietitian, because she's one of the only other woman on staff that travels. And he was basically alluding to the fact that she didn't get a cake for every single person's birthday. And I was like, yeah, but like you guys, there's a lot of you guys. And he's like, well, I want a cake for my birthday. And I was like, well, what kind of cake do you like? And we like went over and he didn't know what a cookie cake was. So then for his birthday, we got him a cookie cake and we put the All-Star link on it because he was up in the top 10 for DH for the voting for All-Star. And it was just really fun to like surprise him with that. And obviously we threw it on TikTok, but it was more of like a relationship thing as well. Like just like
Yeah.
getting him a cake and because we talked about it and it did well on TikTok and we also put it on TV, which was fun, but it was also just one of those fun moments where you use someone's personality because they always do stuff for you and so we wanted to get him something for his birthday.
Yeah, and that's how it works. And so many athletes, whether it's the male or
Mhm.
female athletes in the different leagues, it's all about, do they trust you and do they know they can have fun with you?
Mhm.
Um, so it's fantastic to watch you build that rapport and invest that time into it. So way to go on that.
Yeah, it's so fun and they're baseball guys are they've had to work their way up. So they're all very humble and they're very nice and very easy to work with and obviously you see them every day also. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Very cool. Well, Sarah, it has been so exciting seeing you in and around the Rockies on a daily basis with your posts and everything like that. So, thanks for making time before the season resumes. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share? And where can our Bulldog audience follow you and your work for the Rockies?
Yeah, I would just say to, I mean, any future or current students watching, just to get that experience and build those relationships because I feel like you could do so much in the classroom and in the classroom is so important and keep building those relationships, but also expand on the athletics department or the Collegian and just really use your time on campus wisely because it worked out for me and it's been awesome. So, and I'd say just follow the Rockies on everything, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, because that's normally where all my energy is going. You could also follow my personal Instagram at Sarah Hohman, but I'm normally focused on all of our team's content, so lacking on my own, but maybe one day.
Yeah, now you've learned that it's a lot easier to stay away from your own because you're spending so much time on the property.
Yes, I have two phones and I'm always have them together, so I try to even stay off my personal one if I can.
Very good, very smart. So, Bulldogs and supporters, thanks for watching. Visit butler.edu/CCOM Pawprints for more CCOM stories on our blog, and follow us on Instagram at Butler CCOM and the official Butler University account at Butler U. Go Dogs and take care of one another.